This video is going to show you solo GM with a triple fusion rifle loadout. The GM got changed recently to Birthplace of the Vile, I believe because of Triumphs killing Scorn enemies, making it easier for people or something. Anyways, I wanted to showcase a double special fusion rifle loadout in endgame and how it performs. Bear in mind, fusion rifle is going to get buffed next week and they are going to get the particle reconstruction. Things are going to be different, but I wanted to do a quick one this week just to see a baseline touch, vibe touch, of how fusions are performing right now in endgame. Stasis Surge, Void Surge and Overcharge Fusion's on, which they don't stack. I did not know Overcharge Fusion was on, but that doesn't matter. Champions are Overload and Unstoppable. Obviously, it's a Brawn GM. The fusion rifles that I chose. Now, there's multiple ways I could have done this. I could have done Sleeper, Queen Breaker's Bow, and so on and so on and so on. But I ultimately went with this. A utility style fusion Deliverance with Chill Clip. Telesto, because it's getting a huge buff next week, and it does chunk damage right now, so it'll only be better next week. And a debuff Wyvern Gaze Linear Fusion Rifle. The reason why I'm using this is to test it to see how it performs in endgame. That is literally the reason. And it just ends up being that you end up seeing that gameplay as well. So you can make more of an educated decision about Wyvern Gaze in the future. Okay, so those are the three fusions. Bear in mind, we've got champions to stun, both Overload and Unstop. So that's why we ultimately went with a Chill Clip. Now, I could have used Riptide. The reason why I'm using Deliverance is because just to showcase Deliverance gameplay off, because it seems as though there's a lot of people that still just prefer Deliverance over Riptide. I'll tell you that ultimately it's apples to oranges and they're very similar in usage. But what I will say is Deliverance isn't technically better, and here's why it's not technically better. Chill Clip on the frame, what frame is it? Precision frame, will stun an Overload in 2 shots. Sorry, it will freeze a champ in 2 shots. Any target in 2 shots. Whereas Riptide, Chill Clip got nerfed on it at some point on rapid fire frames and stuns in freezes in 3 shots. Now here's the distinction between the two. Even though Riptide stuns in 3 shots, freezes in 3 shots, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to read the text why it doesn't matter. Stasis slow effects stuns overloads. Look at that. Stasis slow effects. It doesn't say freeze, people. It says slow. Right, now let's get into it a little bit more. Deliverance slows slower and freezes faster. Riptide slows faster, right, but freezes slower. In other words, Riptide will stun an Overload champ quicker than Deliverance, but Deliverance will freeze a champ quicker than Riptide. It's apples to oranges, it really is. And also what I will say is, the precision frame fusion rifles feel very clunky in PvE. They feel like a block of cheese at times. They do. Deliverance is a great weapon. It's a 9.5 out of 10. But Riptide's buttery smooth in PvE. Riptide is so buttery smooth in PvE. And you will, when you're up against ads and you're under pressure, getting a stun on Overload really quick with Riptide, there's a lot of power to be said about that. Whereas Deliverance is going to be more clunky, block of cheese, like I said. But with the enhanced demo, I did notice the amount of grenades I was getting was substantial. So the difference between the two is this for me. If I need demo on a build, I will use Deliverance. If I don't need demo on a build, I'll use Riptide. There you go. There's your distinctions on the two. Remember, all of that stuff's factual. Riptide does stun Overloads quicker because it only takes 1 shot no matter what fusion you're on. And this is a 740 charge time. Riptide is a 500 charge time. So do the math. It's obvious that Riptide will stun an Overload quicker than Deliverance. Okay? Depends on what type of content you're doing. If you're in a fire team, you can get away with using Deliverance. It won't matter. But in solo play, we have to nitpick at every single thing. Every single thing needs to be nitpicked and looked upon. That's just how I play in the game. It's just simple. It's just how it is. Also, if you're using a double special fusion rifle loadout, or double special in general, say for example I use Tenacious Mastery here and a fusion rifle here next week, that's fine. But there's some rules to follow if you run double special, and here it is. If you run double special, you need an ability-based build on with that to back up your ammo. Because if you run a weapon-based build, you'll run out of ammo. Even if you run special finisher, you'll run out of it. Especially in solo play. So, for example, I use Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire, everyone's going to say, well, why aren't you using Rain of Fire? Well, because it's a weapon-based exotic. We don't want our gameplay to be all about fusions because we'll run out of the ammo too quick. In other words, back up a double special build with an ability-based build, like what I'm going to show you now. If you use a primary weapon, though, then it's fine because all your special will go into one weapon. Special ammo bricks are split in half. If you pick up a special brick, you get half to Deliverance, half to Telesto. That means you've got to manage your ammo much, much, much more. And Chill Clip's dead important for us because that's our primary way of stunning champs. So do you see how we're having to micromanage here that much? To ease the micromanaging, it's easy. You just run an ability-based build. So we're using the exotic class item, Inmost Light and Synthoceps on a Warlock. Song of Flame, Lightning Surge build with Devour. Got a Storm Grenade on, Heal and Rift. Arcane Needle, so we get 3 Lightning Surges. Fragments was Facet of Awakening, Dawn, Balance, Dominance and Protection. Because the extra Dominance Jolt is good for what we're doing. It just allows us to ease up on the ammo for Deliverance and back all that up with a special finisher build. There's many mods this season that give you special ammo charges, armor charges, like the thicker Finest Keepers. There's multiple ways. Get it via orbs, etc. He's the mods on screen. It doesn't really matter. All that matters really is that you got special finisher on and that you're rocking some half decent stats. Yeah, that's literally what we used in this. So as we begin, we're going to Sparrow to the left, skip the first Unstoppable. You do not need to kill him for platinum rating, and you still get platinum rank for loot, etc. If you need to do any last minute farms for Ascendant Shards, this is the time to do it. We'll spawn our Skimmer here, or your Sparrow, doesn't matter. But what I'm going to focus on this video mainly is damage we're doing with the fusions. Like I said, I backed it up with a Lightning Surge build, but mainly I'm going to focus on the fusions. So we're going to start on this rock. Get a stun with our Storm Grenade. Now we're trying to knock him off because you can consistently knock the overloads off. But he isn't having it. So let's get a quick stun with Deliverance. Is it stunning well? Okay. 8 out of 10 stun. Not bad. We'll try to finish this target here. He's not letting us finish for some reason. We'll get another Storm Grenade in, which was nice with the enhanced demo. If you notice, we got a lot of grenade energy back. Then we'll use a bit of Lightning Surge here. I'm feeling a little clunky with Deliverance, but it's performing very good in what it's doing. But I'm just saying, look, it's a block of cheese, Deliverance, and I would have to get used to using it more because it's just its handling. You feel really slow when you're using it, and when I'm solo, I notice that stuff. I will call out weapons that I feel that have bad handling stats, or they just don't feel very snappy to use, and Riptide feels very snappy to use. Deliverance needs more calculations. You need to be more calculated with your charge time. All these other things start to come into play. We pop a Transcendence here because we've got one to use, and we want to free up on ammo. So what I'm having to do for the run is really optimize Transcendence uses and super uses. Okay, here we go, Wyvern Gaze. We got Wyvern Gaze procced on this boss, or it should be at least. It procced on the bottom corner there. The fusion's not doing the damage, the linear Mistral Lift. The reason for that is because linears do need that buff. If anything, standard fusions are fine for damage right now in the game, but linears aren't. But they're getting that 10% buff along with particle reconstruction. That will set them to be usable, or more than usable, next week. Alright, we need to get a Devour kill chain here. I use a nade. I'm going to use... I don't know if I had Devour or not there, because it's not on the left-hand side. I do now, though. I know that I've got Devour. So I got my Devour chain kill. We've got a super to waste. I'm going to waste Song of Flame to cap the plate. This is generally what I do on these runs anyway. So look, cap the plate. This allows us to have super damage resistance. It allows me to basically cap the plate without wasting ammo. Right, now look at ammo. We've got 12 Deliverance shots, which is okay. Telesto is a lot better on ammo economy than what Deliverance is, for sure. And we got full heavy, so we're doing all right at the minute. Okay, we've still got super left, so we're going to use our nade just at the end there. That will proc us Devour luck. That allows us to stay alive. And what I'm going to do is just kill some of these ads on the left, I believe. I'm also taking note on my armor charges when I have and when I don't, for any finisher kills. Kind of awkward getting finisher kills with triple fusion, with a triple fusion loadout. The only targets I can finish properly are champions or orange bars, like this, for example. Okay, so I have to strategize those finisher kills because obviously I'm using no primary. This is the exact reason why I generally do like to run a primary in solo GM environments. Just because it means that you get full special for the ammo that for the special weapon that you have chosen. So, you know, for example, say I did go with Telesto and I ran a scout rifle. That scout rifle would allow me to make sure that I get more special ammo for Telesto. Because this Telesto ammo is split between Deliverance and Telesto, get it? Now, I'm trying to bait this Overlord over here. I thought he would bait over and he didn't. That's fine. We end up baiting the Unstop over instead, I believe. Because remember, we need to get up close with a chill clip shot or the storm grenade. But yeah, just trying to bait him over rather than just go in and use my lightning surge. So look, we get a good stun there, but notice the amount of damage that we took while stunning that Unstop. It was rather... With the freeze was quick, but the slow wasn't, right? And I am really looking at it on that basis. But yeah, you know, it is doing good things for us. We'll get a stun here, look. Then we'll whip out the linear. He's debuffed. We have debuffed him with Wyvern Gaze there, it looks. And we're just managing our ammo. If I'm being honest, Telesto gets used a little bit more because Deliverance is used as a utility weapon for champs because I haven't got Overload on. Generally speaking, you know, this week, this season, we would have used Velocity Baton or an Overload grenade launcher somewhere. But I haven't got an Overload GL on, which I must be crazy for doing, but I haven't, have I? So, you know, this is how we counterweight all of those things, is by really managing our ammo in a very particular way. Look at armor charges left hand side. You need 3 armor charges to proc special finisher. It won't proc off 1. It needs 3 armor charges. So just bear that in mind. So next week, if you're going to run a rocket sidearm with a fusion, because that's what a lot of people are saying, okay, fine, do that, but you need to back that up with an ability-based build then. Ability-based build, or run a machine gun, because the machine gun will act as your primary. Then you can go ham with your double special. That's fine. The other answer is run Vex Classed. I know that. I'm just saying. Right, when you get a stun by our Overload grenade, then we'll do some... we're going to do our super in a minute. We're going to do it now. We'll do it now, then we'll chill with Deliverance while we're in our super. Our goal is basically just to take that Overload out. Then the back end of our super will kill the rest of the enemies. Now I'm focusing on mainly ability kills with the super rather than my fusions, because this is a waste of ammo if I start using Telesto on these ads. But looks like I'm going to have to do that now. Deliverance ammo is low. That is something to look at now. Like, look, we're 11 shots and I barely used it. So yeah, the build's starting to become a little bit of a hindrance now with special ammo. But I've got plenty of heavy, so I might have to start using my heavy fad clears. So that's see what I'm on about. That's where you start to, you know, with these builds, you know, they end up becoming over demanding for what they want. Whereas if you just ran a primary, your special ammo will be your special ammo uptime will be so much more. This isn't always true. If you use a sword with double special or a heavy with double special, it works out a little bit better. But I'm obviously using a heavy linear, but I'm using it to test its damage. I have to. Okay, we use a Transcendence here because we may as well. Yeah, we may as well do that here because, again, I'm wanting to save on ammo a little bit. See how the special brick split there? See how it split there when I got it? Right, so we now got plenty of Deliverance, just about. So we are going to use that 2-shot per champ. That's literally how I'm going to manage it. Obviously, Transcendence Nade does also stop unstops, and Song of Flame does as well. So we'll get our stop there with Deliverance. Then we'll go in with our Inmost Light and Symphoseps class item, Lightning Surge build, which Lightning Surge builds will be a thing. Well, they are now. They're a thing now, but they'll be even more of a thing next week, because Lightning Surge is getting a buff. Look at this damage we're doing here with Telesto. So the most impressive thing that I had from this run was Telesto's damage. Telesto was doing the damage right now. Right? It was doing very good chunk damage. Look, the chunk damage is pretty good. So I suspect Telesto being a very, very top pick next week. Amongst a lot of other things, for sure. But I'm just saying, Telesto was the most thing that... It was the thing that impressed me most about the run. Deliverance impressed me as well for its 2-shot freeze, but it didn't impress me for ammo purposes, but I guess that's because I'm running a double special weapon build. The Mistral Lift kind of was underwhelming because Linear Fusions need help. They're not doing enough damage. The legendary linears are not doing enough damage right now, and I'm sure that you saw that in the run. Next week will be a different thing. It'll be a different matter. But if that isn't the case, then you need to use Sleeper Simulant or 1K Voices. If legendary linears are somehow still rubbish, you might want to use 1K Voices or Sleeper Simulant, because 1K Voices and Sleeper Simulant are both melting in the game right now. Okay, I use a super here to cap this plate. That will also then save on ammo. I've got a Transcendence to pop for plate 2. Plate 1 at the bottom is harder. That's why I use super on that one. Whereas plate 2 is easier and you don't need a super for it. Whereas the other plate, it's easy. You don't have to super it, but it's just nice to do that. I could pop Transcendence. I believe I do on this. Right? Okay, so now we need Devour. Have we got Devour left hand side? We haven't. That's Storm Grenade, man. I hope Storm Grenade's a little bit better next week. I hope so, because they're good. But they're just lacking a little damage sometimes, man. Storm Grenades. Although the utility of them is very good for stun and unstops. Okay, so now we do a couple of Lightning Surge melees, which I'm missing a couple. We got Devour left hand side, or pop a Rift. I'm trying not to pop Transcendence here. That's what I'm trying not to do. Basically, so that means I've got it for the next section. Look. So yeah, look, it was fine. I didn't need Transcendence. The 2 melees and the special ammo was just enough to basically claim the plate, get, go on to the next section. If anything, this run will demonstrate to you how you can counteract builds to your liking. Because if I ran it, the absolute meta right now, Consecration Titan with double special and a sword, obviously I could do this in 10 minutes, and I've showed you that I can do that in 10 minutes, this run in 10 minutes before. I've done it on previous runs. I'm just saying that on that build, you don't need to make it work, it just works. Whereas this build works as well. It's not that, it's the weapons. I'm making the fusion rifles, I'm forcing them to work no matter what. Even though they're not in meta right now, I'm making them be a meta for me. If that makes sense to you. I'm playing them to the absolute strength. Deliverance ammo is 9. So look, the entire run I was managing Deliverance ammo. The entire run. That's with Special Finisher. Now, if I ran Special Ammo Finder, it might make a little bit of a difference, but not that much. It ain't making that much of a difference. Okay, this room we're just going to try and skip, but try and, get some health along the way. We've got a Storm Grenade to use. We maybe want to use Storm Grenade instead. Yep, that's exactly why we're going to Storm Grenade on C, because that is then supplementing our Chill Clip ammo for later on. Because we've got a lot of champs to kill just yet. Use a bit of Telesto ammo to supplement damage. That allows me to build up Chill Clip ammo for the next set of overloads. See what we did there? Right, we'll need to pop a Transcendence. Generally, I don't do this, but I'm going to have to for this loadout. So, pop Transcendence, get our Freeze and Singularity Grenade on there. That will debuff him because of Facet of Dominance. Then, we're going to go in with our Lightning Surge build. In most light symphoms, you can use Necrotics. You can use Assassins to go invis on melee kills. But you do need the damage, if I'm being honest. Symphoseps is really needed on a Lightning Surge build because that damage is just... Too good to pass up. So make sure you check your rolls for Symphoceps class items on a Warlock. Look at that. Look at ammo now. So since we've supplemented with Transcendence spam, we've then built up our special ammo a bit more. Yeah? Right, we get a Storm Grenade in, then 2 melees, then Super. Super will save us a lot of ammo and allow us to do a lot of chunk damage. So, yeah, I know if you just finger snap with Song of Flame, the Song of Flame lasts longer, but we want to do nades. Because my goal isn't to make the Super last longer, my goal is to do as much chunk damage while it's up to supplement ammo. Right, now we're going to use a bit of heavy, because we're good on heavy ammo. We don't need a lot of heavy ammo for the boss fight, to be honest. So I'm going to use it. Okay, so these champs are jolted, or there was. Double stun and overload there. That's really nice. Now we'll get the stun with the overload linear. With the linear. Some people might be asking why I didn't run Secant of Filaments, the boots that give you overload. The reason for that is because you don't need to. Because Chill Clip will stun overloads. Storm Grenade. The fact of just putting a Storm Grenade on will ease an exotic slot up for me, and that allows me to run a Symphoceps Lightning Surge build. So do you see how that's better than running Secant of Filaments? Now, I'm not on about the Spirit. That Spirit class roll that I'm on about, well, that's particular, isn't it? That's a 1960s Roadster build that's very, very complete. I'm not using that for this, though, because that's more weapon-based. It's kind of ability-based, but it's kind of more weapon-based, whereas this build's pure ability-based with Lightning Surge. Alright, so the overload is the concern, but we want to do chunk damage. So what we want to do with this is pop a Transcendence and do Lightning Surge damage to the ads and the boss at the same time. Look at the damage. Now, it's no consecration damage. I'm aware of that. But it is doing decent damage right now. I reckon for a melee-based build, this is about where you should be. I don't think melee-based builds should be world-breaking damage. I think they should be medium damage. I don't think that it should be like best in slot. But for Lightning Surge build, I think it's a good thing that they're buffing it, because it's going to allow more Warlock mains to get off turret builds. So I'm pro Lightning Surge build, because I want Warlocks to get off turret builds, unless you're running my turret build with Spirit of Starfire and Spirit of Filaments, then fair enough. But if you're just on Rhymecoat Ryman, maybe on Warlock you need to explore some melee-based builds. Well, here's one for you. You just need to check your class items. Okay, so look at the damage that we did there with Telesto plus Song of Flame. It was really good. Okay, so now I've got the boss to a third. I'm going to pop a Healing Rift here because we're going to use some linear. Wyvern Gaze is procced. Okay, this guy's put up a damn turret. I'll get a Jolt in, some Chill Clip in. Telesto Chunk with Stasis Crystals there, really nice. So yeah, that did. Telesto impressed me the most, and Telesto will get All Gods Right next week. If you don't know what the artifact mod All Gods Right is, that's what Telesto's getting, but it's Telesto Bolts. It's a Telesto Bolt variant of All Gods Right. So pay attention. That's one of the first things on day one you need to test is Telesto. You need to test that. There's other things you need to test, but ultimately it's Telesto is your top 3, 4, 5 priorities for fusion rifles. Because if those bolts do what we think, and if it bugs the game out, as Telesto does, the servers could be off all day because everyone... Actually, I'm doing this wrong. Don't test Telesto. You'll knock the servers off. Don't be testing it. You're going to knock the servers off. Just let me test it. You can go and test something else. I tell you what you can go and test. You can go and test Deliverance because you seem to love it the most. I'll let you test Deliverance. I can test Telesto. See? Deal? So we're weak here. See? That's what I was on about. So did you see that the stun was so slow there, man, on the overload? And we were nearly dead there. Now, I can tell you, if I ran that back with Riptide, I would not have got my shields broken as quickly as that. Now, because of usability with Riptide, it's quicker. It's a quicker stun. Okay, this is a very good Transcendence pop. So rather than do a Chill Clip rotation on these champs, we want to do a Transcendence one to stun with our Singularity Grenade. Look, that then does damage to champ, add, and the boss, everything. Okay, look at that. We've still got Transcendence to use. We've still got Freeze and Singularity. So we'll keep debuffing that boss. Remember, it's faceted dominance. You need to run faceted dominance. On a prismatic warlock, 9 times out of 10 you run faceted dominance. There are times when we don't run it. But most of the time you do run it. Remember, I don't stick to every fragment all the time. We use the fragment to better the activity that we are doing. We build for activity first, we do not build craft emotions like ice cream. You know, like when you got the girls who are eating their emotions, they're having ice cream, a tub of ice cream, they've been cheated on or something, and they're eating their emotions. They've got a tub of ice cream because they've lost their boyfriend. That's exactly what you're doing in D2. You're build crafting your emotions. You're over build crafting in it, and you're doing unnecessary things. So you don't need to do tablecloth build. Look at the activity first, then build around it. Then you're an expert. Whereas if you just say, well, just use this build. Yeah, but what are you talking about? What exactly are you talking about? Is this, like, people ask me, is this build good? Like, they mention a build. Say it might be Phoenix, Cradle, Solar Titan. Is this build good? And I tell them no. They don't want to hear that answer. Some people want to be told what they want to hear. I won't tell you what you want to hear. I will tell you the factual information so that we don't mislead players. Because if we mislead players down the wrong path, do you understand that it affects their quality of life? Do we understand that you're wasting people's time if we tell people the wrong advices? I ain't going to tell you the wrong advices. I don't care who you are or what you're about. I'm still going to tell you how it is and how I approach the game. Then you can have a decision for yourself. But I don't want to force my opinion upon you either. I want to make sure that players aren't getting put down a rabbit hole of builds where they don't get anything done at all in the game. You can only just imagine the amount of players across the world that are trying builds out and don't get anywhere with anything. This is a problem. So my goal is to not misdirect players. Like I said with the Deliverance thing, Deliverance is great. It is great. But so is Riptide. And I think Riptide for solo gameplay, for what I do, is more applicable for this quicker stuns. Okay, Deliverance, look at it. It's a green block of cheese. You can see it. It's a green block of cheese. Riptide's a sleek red weapon. Buttery smooth fusion rifle shots. I value that, and so it's not just traits of a gun that you need to consider, it's how the gun feels. Right, look, we get a stun with the overload. Look at that, we get our storm grenade back already. We just used it, and we need to kill that overload quickly. Now I haven't used Transcendence yet, but I'm going to. That's why I waited for the storm grenade just before the pool there. Right, now I pop Transcendence, because now we want to get Synthocept damage on the boss. Look at the damage. Okay? Not out of this world. It all depends. Like, Lightning Surge is a little bit... Can be sometimes inconsistent, though. So, Lightning Surge is a brilliant on Warlock, but sometimes when you try and do a Lightning Surge on a champ or a boss, sometimes it doesn't do the quite damage you would hope. Sometimes. Only sometimes, but overall, a Lightning Surge build on a Warlock is fantastic. It's like a 9 out of 10 build, is Lightning Surge builds. It really is. Especially you've got Devour. You need Devour to back that up so that you get the kill. And you need Immortal Light and Synthocepts or Necrotics or Spirit of Assassin. So look at this damage with Telesto that we just did there. I was trying to see what the damage would be like there. Notice we didn't get much time to operate with Wyvern Gaze in the run. The reason being is because Wyvern Gaze is a little bit finicky to use, and when you're under pressure, it takes ages to proc. Like, look, now I'm trying to get it to proc and it's not procking. So Wyvern Gaze is great, but it takes ages to proc. That was the solo GM on this with triple fusion loadout. Have fun next week with fusion rifles.